Dr. Luchetu,
Yes.
Kenyans find themselves in catch-22, in a point of catch-22, because right now, even as we speak, even in the opposition itself, we have members of parliament, right? And these members of parliament, many would say, even in the matters of fuel that we see today, it only takes members of parliament to go inside that house and come up with an amendment that would see all these taxes that have been levied on fuel go down. And one would say, if that is the strategy that, say, even the opposition would apply, then many Kenyans would start leaning towards a certain side, knowing these are people who speak our languages, people who speak for us. But delayed to do that, then Kenyans, where they sit is, it's just the same crop of individuals. We do not know who to trust in this case, because tell you what, even the taxes that we see today, many of them voted for this finance bill 2025, right? So delay in, say, the opposition coming up with a decision or who is running, is it then making Kenyans find themselves in a position where they can't trust anybody who's coming up because you left us on our own?
My brother, you are touching on something very sensitive. There is a leadership deficit in this country. Kenyans are facing a crisis because they are saying, I wish we could actually move with the opposition. But the opposition is letting them down. So, once bitten, twice shy. We've seen how opposition has been fragmented before. And we are worried that that last-minute arrangement may not hold water. So that's why Kenyans are actually yearning that the opposition should actually come out strongly to give us an alternative so that they can actually endear Kenyans towards themselves. But then you need to appreciate that Ruto is brilliant. He's still very good in messaging. So that messaging, people still feel like then Ruto has a better chance. So even if we talk about the fragmentation and the last minute arrangement that we can actually put in place, we should be concerned, therefore. The alternative that we are looking at, if today the opposition came together and with that discipline that we need to remain united because we want a new Kenya and go ahead and implement, you think they cannot succeed? Why are we going back to that element of saying, fine, let's wait for last minute? Last minute, Ruto still has a chance because it will be very difficult to change the mind of Kenyans at that last minute. You talk about the tribal mathematics. You talk about proper messaging. Today, we have an opportunity in terms of economic messaging. We are doing survival. We have the yoke of taxes on our neck. We can't barely breathe. We can't barely move and even get that survival. Why can't they take proper messaging, for example? Today, they are still organizing themselves. Ruto has been campaigning for the last 4 years, just like he did in the previous regime. We have a scenario here. What about campaigning and delivery? That could be very good messaging. What about governance crisis we have in terms of accountability? So that Kenyans can actually appreciate that we really have I'm saying today, and this is free consultancy to Daktari here, that please wake up as opposition because Kenyans are looking upon you as an alternative. Satisfy them by doing the right thing so that Kenyans can feel comfortable that, yes, we have this monster here and we are all saying must go. Therefore, we have organized ourselves around policy. And a very good example. Today, we have crisis in terms of institution assessment, IEBC, and that funny companies, it's Matic or whatever.
Smartmatic.
Yes. What is the opposition doing about that? And agents, how are we organizing our agents from the word go nationwide? How are we training our poll people? Do we have even a command center for the opposition? So that we put this mechanism in place to demonstrate that indeed we are a government in waiting. Can Kenyans trust us? Yeah. So I'm only asking that, can Daktari and the team wake up from that slumber and that historical worry that, and let me tell you, Ruto is not a small child in politics. And I can assure you, unless you actually organize yourselves, we will be in the same crisis. But on the side of government, I'm also asking the government, please deliver on your promises. This thing we are talking about, fuel, it came up with G2G. It has not solved, it ended up benefiting a few boys in terms of the forex. But the Kenyans themselves have never felt the benefit of G2G. Today, look at the landing cost of fuel here. And look at all these crises. As I agree with you, in conclusion, Parliament has the authority to come back to the House and enact appropriate laws to protect Kenyans. Look at a good country like Pakistan. They're cushioning their people, and then they depend on fuel from that end. As we can even source from another country, not necessarily from where we are sourcing, because government to government is basically corruption.